Hey everybody, it's Jesse again, and welcome to another edition of Gen X Thinks. And this is a nostalgia edition, specifically about the playground and PE. If you'd like to support the channel by buying me a cup of coffee, the link is in the description. Thank you, and I appreciate it. We used to have a game when I was in grade school. We called it Crack the Whip. I don't know how many of y'all remember it or how many of y'all played it. We'd all get in this long line and we'd hold hands and we'd grab each other's hands really tightly. Maybe 15 or 20 people in this line. The longer the line, the better it would act, the better it would be. And the lead person would start running around in S formations and circles and stuff. And that line behaved exactly like a whip. The last person in line, when you went around the S curve, you would literally be holding on to the next person's hand like this, and your feet would be up in the air. And you couldn't hold on, you'd go flying into whatever was in the way. I've rolled up against school walls, swing sets. I mean, it was painful. I mean, we had some pretty gnarly accidents, not accidents, it was done on purpose. So I don't know what you would call it, but it was pretty painful. Some kids would just be left out there, holding their knee or whatever and rocking, and we go back to class. And where's Johnny? I think he went to the bathroom or something. So yeah, Crack the Whip was brutal. We seriously, nobody ever, I don't remember anybody ever getting broken bones or anything like that, or having to go to the hospital. It's not like hospital trips were common back then. If you had to have something seriously wrong with you, a protruding bone or something to warrant a hospital trip. It's not like today, with just a spot of blood or a cough and you're off to the hospital. Back then it was different. For us, it took a lot for us to get sent to the school nurse. I mean, most of the time the teacher would just pull a bandage, out of her drawer and put it on you or something. That she'd look at it, oh, it's sprained, and whatever. If it looked broken, then she'd send you to the nurse. But those are the kind of games that started in elementary school, and it seemed like it just got more extreme from there. We were so extreme. Whenever I think about that, it cracks me up how extreme we were. And then as we graduated into maybe middle school and high school, we started, you had PE and we had to play dodgeball. We all remember that, playing dodgeball. And I remember, still to this day, I remember getting hit in the side of the head with that ball, and that sound right in my ear. And that from the time the ball first touches your skin and wraps around and kind of forms the impression of your face like that, and then bounces off, that split second of time takes like 3.5 weeks in your head. You experience every millisecond of it. You're like, whoa, wong. Oh man. There's no other sensation like that, getting hit in the side of the head or full in the face. That stinging nose, water and eye sensation when you get hit full in the face with one of those dodgeballs. The smell and the sound of those things are just still imprinted in my brain. And we used to like to get the ones that were a little deflated, the fully tight ones. Those weren't the best ones. You'd think maybe they were, but they weren't the best ones. The best ones they were a little deflated, so you could really grab a hold of it, and then you slung it. Yeah, those were good days and good times. I hated that 3.5 weeks it took for the ball to hit my face, but other than that, it was fun. And then they had the tether ball on that rope. I always remember sitting there watching those girls play that tether ball. That was like the girls' game. They could get that thing going, and to me, I equate it to like watching those professional boxers do that speed bag. How do they do that? It's always fascinated me. And those little girls with that tetherball is the same way. I'd go out there, you know, even after school and try to do it. And I just couldn't do it. They were like professionals with that tetherball. They could make that thing, whoa, it's spin around in reverse, and just they do all kinds of crazy stuff with that tetherball. I never could master it. And then we played a lot of marbles. I don't know if y'all remember playing marbles. I do. We played a lot of marbles in my school, and everybody try to bring in the most special, unique marble. You know, they had the real big ones. And then I remember specifically Steelies. They come in with these steel marbles, and they were, you know, shiny metal. And then after I grew up, and one day, I don't know what I was doing, working on my car or something, it hit me that those Steelies were just ball bearings. That's all they were. They were ball bearings. Some kid found in his dad's garage or something, you know. Then he started calling it a Steely. That's the kind of stuff that cracks me up, and I just look back and how creative we were, and just how innocent we were, you know. We just believe that stuff. That's why a lot of that apocalyptic stuff was so big to us back then as children, you know, because everything was so real, and we could get so into stuff back then. But that's not the case anymore, is it? Yeah. And then I remember those Steelies, the cat's eyes and all that. We had all kinds of stuff. I can't even remember all the different things that kids brought into the playground and called them marbles, you know, and tried to. I remember this one kid he brought in a big, like, it was like almost like epoxy or something. It wasn't plastic really, because it would break and shatter like glass, but it wasn't glass. It was like epoxy or something. But it was a piece off of like a hanging lamp or a chandelier or something, you know, from the 60s or 70s, an old lamp from his grandma's house or his, you know, his house or something. Maybe he got up on a chair and pulled it off of there, but it had holes in it, you know, where you could see where a string or something ran through it. And he brought that and tried to claim it was a marble. I remember calling bullshit on that one. But, dude, that's not a marble, dude. We don't want that one. And we'd all come back in from recess just covered in sweat and dirt, and some of it, you know, skin knees bleeding. Our playground was like half asphalt. That's where the tetherball was and some of the other play equipment. But then we had a grass section too. That's where we played crack the whip and stuff. I mean, sometimes you got cracked off onto the asphalt, and that was one of the more painful places to be cracked. Most of us would play out in the grass, us boys. Now, girls would get in the line and play crack the whip with us too. I remember that. But most of the other, you know, tag and stuff like that, you know, us boys would go over there and play while the girls played with the tetherballs and stuff, or just sat on the benches a lot of times. But us boys would go out there and we'd play all kinds of games, tackling each other, and do all that right in the middle of the school day. Then we'd walk back into class and sit down with grass and dirt in our hair, and, you know, bloody nose or a bloody lip, skinned up jeans, grass stains all over elbows and knees, and just it looked like we were coming straight off the set of Lord of the Flies, you know what I mean? Good times, good times. All right, and I'll leave you there. Hopefully you enjoyed some of that nostalgia. Hopefully you remembered some of that yourselves. That's what I'm trying to do here, is remind y'all and bring back some of those memories for you. Hopefully you shared some of the same experiences. And if you did, make sure and comment down below. I really enjoy sharing our thoughts and experiences in this comment section. So please do that. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel, please. I really appreciate that. And I hope y'all are having a great weekend. And I'll see you on the next one.